The conference has been unlocked.
Is this thing on? Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Let me get a thumbs up in the chat box. We are live and in effect. And as we know, the Ravens going Raven. The Ravens are going to Raven. So I will say this. The phone lines are already unlocked, so you can go ahead, call in, get in line and whatnot. And once we get through our daily steps, we'll get to it. So I did not forget to unlock the phones today. They are open. And I will say this, even though the theme of today is about Pat Queen, we do not, when we get to the phone lines, do not have to ignore the elephant in the room, which was that press conference today. So even though Pat Queen is the kind of the theme, we don't have to ignore the elephant in the room about that press conference. Because even though the theme is Pat Queen, it's still going to tie into some of the stuff that was said today at that press conference. So that's where we at. Give everybody a minute or two to get in. We're 25 deep right now. Say what's up to some of the people in the chat box. Brandon, Steven, Big Reg, the DJ, Hendo. Who else? Lady of Distinction, Bailey Got Beats. Who else we rolling with today? Comment, say hey, say hello, say what's up. Brandon Tillman, pay the bills. I see you guys. Appreciate it. So again, the theme of today, we're gonna talk about Pat Queen and what to do with Pat Queen. But do not hesitate to talk about that press conference. Do not. What up, Don? What up, Will? So when we get to the phones, that press conference is not off limits. And I just got a feeling that most of what we talk about is going to be that press conference. What up, Joe? What up, Antonio? Appreciate you guys coming through. So again, let's get this thing started, get it rolling. And the comment of the day. We got the Jane Doe comment of the day coming up. Today is from, what up, Adnan? Is from Off-Grid Woodsman, who's been real active in the comments and in the chat box when he can be. Let's pull up the comment of the day from Off-Grid Woodsman. And again, this is the Jane Doe comment of the day. Hit the like button if you have not done so. And before we get started, if you want to support the channel by super chatting, what you do to super chat is you hit that pinned comment. It'll take you to my Streamlabs page. You can donate that way. You'll get a animation above my head, left or right, one way or the other. You'll also hear the little animation also. And I'll read your comment on stream. And if it's something I need to answer or talk about, I'll do so. If it's a question, I'll answer and talk about it, and I'll do so. But that's how we roll into the super chats that way. Also, if you want to join the Patreon and just be a part of that conversation where we talk about any and everything, mostly ball, you have to sign up to be a member of the Sip to Tally Patreon. And you do that at patreon.com/Sip to Tally. We got 3 or 4 different tiers, but I'll get into more of that toward the end of today's show. All right. What up, Big Unk? I ain't seen you in a minute. Jared, P. Brownie. Appreciate you guys. Let's talk about the comment of the day. Off-Grid Woodsman. He says, a lot of fans complain about how much we spend on defense. Yet most fans want to keep Queen. I do personally. He might be cheap this year, but his stock won't be any higher with 1 year of team control plus a 5th-year extension. We have Ross and Malik in the wings. Anyone playing alongside Rowe will be better. I hadn't disagreed with anything he said yet. Ravens have an opportunity for draft capital to get a solid veteran number 1 receiver. Considering our limited draft success at wide receiver, it's time we went all in for a change on offense and get a proven wide receiver. Proven number 1 changes our wide receiver room. A D-Hop, Bateman, Aguilar, Duve wide receiver room takes us from the bottom 3 to the top 10 receiving with Andrews and Likely. I don't know if we go to top 10, but the potential to top 10 could be there because I ain't sold on Duve yet or Aguilar. But D-Hop Bateman with Andrews and Likely, I like that. I think it would be hard for Lamar to feel the Ravens didn't have his back. Maybe he signs a 3-year guaranteed deal or comes off his number and the Ravens meet him somewhere in the middle for like a 5-year deal. I'm not crazy about a long-term deal. However, we already have a championship team and roster in place to win now. Maybe Lamar delivers on his draft night promise. What a story that would be. So with his comment, I agree with pretty much all of it. I'm just not sold on Aguilar and Duve. And y'all know, I got a guy on both sides of the ball that I kind of ride for. Queen is my defensive guy I ride for, and Prochet is my offensive guy I ride for. Neither one are guaranteed to be on the team next year. Neither one. I think in order for us to get more picks, which we'll talk about that later, DeCosta mentioned getting more picks a bunch in the press conference. In order for us to get more picks, Queen is the bait. Pat Queen is the bait. In order for us to get, he's the one guy I think that they can say, okay, what can we do to get more picks in? And somebody, I don't know where I saw it. I don't know if I saw it in here or on Twitter or what, but somebody says Queen has already wiped his stuff of Raven stuff, which I knew he did that. And they said Hollywood did the same thing last year. So maybe there's a secret agreement that we don't know about that's already happened. Kind of like Hollywood. We don't know. We'll find out April 27th-ish, whatever the date is for the draft. 3 weeks. So appreciate you Off-Grid Woodsman for your Jane Doe comment of the day. And if you would like to be a part of the Jane Doe comment of the day, when I post the topic for next week, because today's the last one for this week, for Monday, you go in the community section of my channel and you post basically a comment about what the topic is. And you have an opportunity to be picked and featured on The Daily Show as the Jane Doe comment of the day. And what's in the works is with the Jane Doe people, everybody that's been picked, their name will go into a hat. And at the end of the month, whenever we get it finalized, they'll be in the drawing for a coupon to purchase Jane Doe products. And you can see the website on the screen. So make sure you go to the website, check them out. Check them out. And also check out the website. And, see something you like. What I got to do is I got to get OTR Mike on here to tell you about his experience with the Jane Doe products. That's what I need to do. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to do that this weekend. I'm going to get OTR Mike on here because we talked about it. Once we left the round table Monday, we talked about it off screen, but I'm going to get him on screen to talk about it, and we're going to roll like that. Appreciate you, Anon. He says thoughts about trading the first round pick to get a wide receiver, but also getting some lower round picks back based off the JJ formula. Yeah, that JJ formula, I don't really understand it, but I haven't tried to understand it. I know it's supposed to like you need certain numbers to get certain picks and whatnot, but that math wasn't mathing with me. It's just something I didn't even try to understand it, honestly. I haven't even tried to understand that formula, but maybe if I was more invested in numbers like that, I'm more invested in what happened on the grass, not necessarily the numbers. But I maybe need to move into that. But appreciate the 5 and 9. I appreciate it. Let's roll over to talking about Queen a little bit. Let's talk about PQ for a minute. Pat Queen, love him or hate him. What do you want to do with him? I personally, this is my 2 cents, and I probably won't say it unless somebody asks me when the phone line's open. I personally want to keep him. I think. Respect. It's a respect thing. That's Anon's right there. Appreciate it. I think he's a valuable piece of this run we're about to make. We're in win now mode. And you see I got love him or hate him up there. Some people love him because of his play, and some people hate him because of how he acts on Twitter. I personally give a rat's butt how he acts on Twitter. He could block all y'all, and it shouldn't matter. The people that bothers me is the people that are, because I think somebody said he's sensitive. So what? It's his timeline. If he don't want you on it, don't be on it. He's free to block whoever he wants. The people that's funny to me are the ones that's mad because he's sensitive. I'm the funny people to me. Because he don't want to see your, like if I was famous and you was dogging me, I'd block your ass too. That simple. I don't care if I throw 18 picks and I open my phone and I see just a bunch of bashing. I'm going to block all y'all. Block. I'm going to be like Mutombo out that thing. No. But y'all want to be, want to talk about him because he act like that on Twitter. It's his. It's his phone. It's his timeline. It's his account. Get on with your life. That's where we at with it. But again, let's look at some of the numbers and go out. But I will say this: his rookie campaign, he was third in defensive rookie of the year. So let's not disregard that. And again, I think this is one of those picks where because me and Hendo always talk about Kyle Hamilton, and he as far as Hamilton, he says he don't mind the pick, he don't mind the player, he just don't mind where he was picked at. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Hendo, you feel the same way about Pat Queen. You felt like you should have got more for your money for being a first round pick, but we got a good amount. So first 2 years, his issue was tackling. It was tackling. And on if you can see the screen, he was 18% on missed tackles, 17% the next year, and then last year he was 14%. So his missed tackles went down. It went down. As far as his actual tackles themselves, where is that? I'm looking for it. There it is. Snap count, grade, pressure, tackle. I guess I got it blocked off. He blocked off on it. But he had over 100 his rookie year, and he had over 100 last year. Didn't have 100 his sophomore year, which was the year he missed a boatload of tackles. And then he had issues with drops in coverage. Wasn't covering people like he should have. At one point, they was taking him off the field and leaving Uncle Bynes out there to cover people. But last year, he got better. Now, there is a trend with Pat Queen, too. His third year playing line because I think Pat came to LSU as a running back, if I'm not mistaken. But once he transitioned over to defense, his third year at LSU, even his last year at LSU, he didn't start the season as a starter. Remember that. The Jacobs, the guy that plays at Cleveland, was the starter Pat Queen's last year. So by game 3, Queen had took that job and didn't look back. So and then I even talked to, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but the leading rusher in the SEC that year played for me in high school. And so I hit him in a DM and I was like, who is the best linebacker you saw all year? And he said, Pat Queen, hands down. Pat Queen, hands down. Appreciate the love, pay the bills. He says, PQ has a choice to make as well as the Ravens. Does he want to be the number 2 guy and make the money playing with Rowe in the top tier defense, or be the lead dog on a lesser defense? That's a tough decision, pay the bills. That's a tough decision. That's a great comment too. Appreciate the 11. That's a extremely tough decision, and it's tough because I know we're not talking about Lamar, but Lamar kind of in that same boat too. Because this team is built to win now, but whoever is going to pay him outside of Baltimore, if that's anybody, they may be a lesser team. We're in our championship window right now, so PQ has a decision to make. And Lamar has a decision to make, but let's try to stick for PQ for now. We'll get to Lamar eventually. All right. But again, Hendo just said it, Queen gonna price himself out of Baltimore. If he has the year that I think he's gonna have beside Roquan, there's no way in heck we can keep him. And I'll be cool with that. I just take the comp pick and go about my business. That's me. I take the comp pick and go about my business and enjoy the rest of my day. But I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way or not. But we're gonna jump on these phone lines and see. Let me give me a sip of this purple Kool-Aid real quick. This nice sip the tally, what we call in chalice. That's refreshing. But you too can also have one. Take a look at it. You too can also have a Sip the Tally chalice. And the way you get that is you go over to Sip the Tally at patreon.com and you join the Gunslinger tier, and you'll have one on the way. On the way to your house or apartment or work job, wherever you want. And everybody need to get one for the season, because when we do them live streams for the season, you need your Sip the Tally, you need your purple Kool-Aid, so we can cheer or we can cry. Because ain't gonna be no gray area. We're gonna be cheering a lot because we got our quarterback and we winning games, or we're gonna be crying because we getting our butt whooped on the regular. Hello, y'all. Let's get to the phone lines. Let me get it open. It's already open. I think we got somebody over here waiting. I think. Oh, we do. We got our man here. Let me get him off hold. Mr. Steven, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Coach. How are you?
I'm fine. I think you was fired up about this one. What you got for me today?
Well, Coach in the chat, just bear with me for a minute so I can get this out.
Go ahead.
All right.
You got it.
Here's what I think is going to happen. And I was looking at this earlier today, and people are going to think I'm crazy. Lamar is going to get traded to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit is going to turn around and give us 2 firsts, or they're going to work something out. But what we're going to get back is Jared Goff.
Mm.
And the first thing that everybody's going to say is, Jared Goff, why would we want him? 6th in overall QBR last year, been to a Super Bowl, 4,500 yards, 65% completion percentage, 29 touchdowns, and only 7 picks on the year.
Mm-hmm.
Who means more to what? And just real quickly, all I'm going to say is this, is that from a football standpoint, from a fan standpoint, I think Goff can be more instrumental. It gives us so many more different avenues that we can pursue, bringing in young quarterbacks, moving up, moving down in the draft. And we've got a good team. And for Lamar, I love him. I want to see him with Jameson Williams. I want to see him with Amon-Ra St. Brown and those boys on a fast track in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a win-win in my opinion. And I'll hang back and see what you all think.
Now, before you don't leave yet. I want to rebuttal you and throw something out there for you. I think, and I never thought about this, and I was watching Brent Coleman's video about Detroit before we started, and he mentioned Lamar playing for them and with some of those weapons you just mentioned. But I wouldn't finish with the video yet. But I think Goff would fit what Monken does. I don't know how you guys or the rest of the chat feels. I think
I'm looking at, but the
Goff
coach, if I could just say one thing,
go ahead.
The linchpin that Goff for me was the second time that Odell Beckham went to meet with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
He's been there twice now.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me Goff. It tells me Goff because he's played with him. He's been to a Super Bowl with him, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was Stafford. Talking with the Rams.
Yeah, okay.
That was Stafford. That was Stafford.
Yeah, but
that was Stafford.
Goff didn't get to one.
He did. He did. I think they lost it. He got to one and they lost it.
Yeah.
But Odell wasn't there yet.
Okay. Yeah, Beckham wasn't there yet. But you see where I'm getting at with this.
I do. Now with one of those number ones, do you think we should, even if we get Goff, one of those picks should be a quarterback, or are you saying just ride with Goff?
I don't think that you have to take a quarterback. If you get Goff in there and the money that we're going to save and the opportunities it opens up for us,
mm-hmm.
what I would do later in the draft is I'm going to make sure Stetson Bennett comes in,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to make sure I want the boy from UCLA. What's the kid?
Receiver or the quarterback?
Quarterback.
DTR. Dorian Thompson. Robinson.
Thompson Robinson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them brought in,
mm-hmm.
and then you just go at it and see what they got.
Yeah.
But you have leeway because we'll have picks, we'll have some more money to work with,
mm-hmm.
and we can, we can fortify ourselves. We can go back defense. We can get more defense if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
It clears out a lot of, and at the end of the day, the way that I feel about it is what we're looking for is 17 to 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
24 or 27 will be great.
Right.
If we could get to 30. All we need is a few more points and lock down with defense, and we win.
Mm-hmm.
We win with that. We've proven it. We've done it time and time again.
Where do you think Snoop fits in
But
the
anyway,
conversation?
Coach, I see Snap It on there. So
No. I didn't even start your time because nobody's behind you. You good.
Okay.
Nobody's behind you. I didn't even start
cool.
your time. Nobody's behind you. What you think about Snoop? Where does Snoop fit in this equation?
If you want to keep, if Snoop wants to be there to back up at a good price, I think Snoop would be excellent to hang on to if you wanted to, but
mm-hmm.
you don't have to.
Right.
You could sell him off for a few more bucks. You know what I mean? Maybe you get a second or a third round pick out of somebody, for a backup and stack that one and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But I think golf makes us a contender, and it's insane to say. And I think that Lamar in Detroit would be something that I just have to see.
Yeah.
I'm praying for it because I want him to have every opportunity. And if it works, then it works, and it'll work there. And if it doesn't, we were right or we were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And it's all a gamble anyway. Because who's to say? And I hope this never happens. But who's to say we sign Lamar and he don't turn out to be, what we think he's gonna be? Or who's to say we trade him and whoever we pick up turns out to be great? It's the whole thing's a gamble. This whole thing's a gamble. But I think you'd rather have what you know versus the unknown. That's me personally. But I depending on what would come with Goff, I think he would fit what Monken does. Not saying Lamar won't fit, but I think Goff would fit just because I'm thinking in my head what Stetson Bennett looked like, and I'm thinking about what Jared Goff looked like. You see a lot of play action, a lot of rollout,
a lot of similarities. There's a lot of stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just when I saw it, I was like, this makes too much sense.
Mm-hmm. And then Lamar in that offense with Swift and Jameson and Amon-Ra and who they tight end?
Bombs away, baby. Get it done. Go win a Super Bowl.
And they got a decent defense.
Yep, and I wouldn't be unhappy about it at all. I want to see him win.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I'm a Lamar fan, and I'm a Ravens fan. I'm Ravens fan first, Lamar second. But I always believe that he could get it done, and if he can't get it done there, it ain't gonna happen.
Gotcha. Let's pivot a little bit because again, nobody's behind you, so you're good. What did you think? Did you get a chance to see the press conference today?
I did.
What you think about that?
I think it reinforced the points that you and the chat made earlier, that when EDC saying we want picks, we want picks, we want picks.
Yep.
Well, you'll get picks. If you trade Lamar to Detroit, you'll get golf and you'll get picks.
Yep.
And then you can trade back. You can do whatever you want to with it.
You think if we trade Lamar, that opens the door to keep PQ, or you think you trade both of them and get more picks like he keep asking?
I trade both of them. I take golf, and then I'm going to bring in Bennett, and I'm going to bring in the boy from UCLA,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to let them fight it out for it. And we've got movement. We can go anywhere on down the line.
Yeah.
We could take 2 picks and move up.
Mm-hmm.
What if we get this done? Well, we got golf. This is just now is another stupid thing I'm thinking about. Right? What if we turned around and had the stones enough to package up a first-round pick? You know, we got golf. We'll pack a first and a second-round pick, move up with Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
or try and get up in the top 10 and take a Will Anderson if he happened to fall or something like that, or go after a real primetime player.
And you know,
To go
EDC
along
joked
with that.
about that too. He joked about that in the press conference. He mentioned Will Anderson by name in the press conference. I don't know if everybody heard that, but he mentioned Will Anderson by name.
The Cardinals have no reason to have him.
Yeah.
What they want to do is they want to move back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The Colts want to move up. They want to get Anthony Richardson or a quarterback. Let them do it. If fall down, you may be able to get Will Anderson at like picks 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best player in this draft.
Oh yeah, hands down.
So it's hard to say what we could do if that went through. But to me, when I was looking at the numbers and everything, and like I say, people can say Jared Goff's terrible or whatever. I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
You put him in there. If Odell Beckham signs, we got something going on offense, and we'll go on.
Right.
And to me, that makes the most sense.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you, Stephen. Somebody finally did pop in behind you, so I'm gonna give him a chance. I appreciate you for calling in and throwing that theory out there. That give me something to think about. Because definitely,
thank you so much for taking my call, Coach. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Stephen, again.
Yes, sir.
Let me get him. All right. Now that's a lot to think about. You know, I still want Lamar, but that's a possibility, because if you think about Monken's offense, the thing is, I want Lamar on the team. With all my heart, I want Lamar on the team. But with that defense, a serviceable, and I don't throw this word around lightly, Garnett throw it around a lot, a serviceable quarterback with other receivers. Now with the receivers we got, we're going to have to bring in a real receiver. Like, I hate to say a real receiver, like we don't have, like they're not real people, but upper tier receiver, and I don't think it's but 2 options out there to bring in, and maybe 3, could fit with a serviceable quarterback with that defense. Because as much as we complain about the defense, they ain't, for the most part, with all the pieces there and everybody healthy, they ain't giving up more than 24 points. More than 24 points. Hendo, stop talking about Prochet. Nobody mentioned Prochet. Stop bringing that name up. Hendo. Stop bringing that name up. Next up, we got a caller here. Let's see. Let me get him off hold. All right, what's your name? What you got for the show?
Yes, Jermaine from Lauderdale.
Lauderdale. Okay, turn me down in the background and then go ahead.
Hold on. What's your name? Hello.
Oh yeah, you good?
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
Not much. Another Florida native.
All right. Yeah. From South Florida to be exact.
Gotcha.
Man, first time caller, long time listener, man. I appreciate everything you do.
I appreciate you.
All right, no problem. Well, where I'm coming from with this, Coach, what I've been seeing a lot of, you think Lamar's already been traded and we just don't know yet?
With what they did with Hollywood, it's possible.
Because that's what I'm kind of see, because I see a lot of, like, they done brought in Richardson way too many times. When, like, why you bring this guy in so many times for an interview when you know you're nowhere near where he's projected to go?
Right. That's a good question, because Richardson ain't getting out the top 10.
No, and with everything, how they, saying everything. So I'm wondering, like, Baltimore done brought him in. This is like their 4th time speaking to him, if I'm not mistaken.
I know 3.
Yeah, okay. And I'm just wondering, if he's already traded. We'll find out the day of the draft.
That potential is there. Like with that stuff with Hollywood, I wouldn't put it past him. And like I said, I commended DaCosta when he did that because him and Hollywood, they held that water, and I know it was bursting at the seams to get out, but they held the water, and nothing surprises me with this zigging and zagging front office. Sometimes the zagging is good, most of the time the zagging is bad, but nothing will surprise me.
Yeah, and, you know, that's just what I believe, and I would just listen to you talking to the other caller the other caller just before me, and you was talking about the defense, but I'm going back on the Ravens defense last year. To be honest, besides like first, I say 5 to 7 games, like who did we play that was a top offense?
True that, because we had a 4th place schedule. That part is correct. I forgot about that.
So yeah, and everybody keeps saying defense. Okay, now they got a hell of a schedule this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, you know, when they play these guys in that defense giving up 30 points, then what?
The grocers got a grocery, man. The grocers, we got to have Whole Foods groceries. We can't have Dollar Tree groceries. Our groceries got to come from Whole Foods. They got to be organic. They can't have them pesticides in them. They got to be plump.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the same way I see it, because I just see everybody saying, oh, the defense. If you look last year, I look at all the stats, statistics, who we play and everything, and it's just looking at it all like we had one of the weakest schedules.
We did. Because if I'm not mistaken, we finished last in the division the year before, and so we had that 4th place schedule, and so them teams that we should have been beaten, even with Snoop at quarterback, we should have beat those teams, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Now, part of it was Roman.
Exactly.
Part of it was Roman.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. You know, and I know at the beginning of the season, even when the offense was putting up points, a lot of it was on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Let go a lot of these 4-quarter leads.
Yep. And that part of that was, you think about early in the year, and you know Harbaugh hates playing rookies. But that Miami game, you think about it. Kyle, Jalen Norman Davis, and Pepe played in that game. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so, I don't remember when Juice Man came back, because I don't think Juice Man played. Was that his first game?
Yeah, see, he played, then he went out. I seen that with Marlon too. They was going in and out, so they really wasn't playing the full game. I think that was something Harbaugh was doing, like easing them into the lineup and not letting them play the full game. And I'm just looking, and I see Tyreek Hill over there. I'm like, oh, they finna throw that to Tyreek, and I'm just screaming at the TV like, put someone over there.
Yep. Then blown coverage with 2 rookies. With 2 rookies. So
yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. What you think? What you think about Lamar? What's gonna happen with him?
I really don't know, Coach. At first, I was all, you know, I'm a big Lamar fan, Ravens fan too, but I'm kind of 50-50 with Lamar and the Ravens, and just the way everything's going, the way he's being treated.
Mm-hmm.
If he leave, I might leave with him until Baltimore clean house, and then I come back.
You mean the upper management?
Yeah. When I just think it's time for a whole new regime. I believe they just stuck in their old ways, and it's just not going to change.
Right. That's understandable.
Until you clean house. As far as Lamar, man, I'm back and forth. 1 minute, at first I was thinking he's going to stay, but then I see bits and pieces of the press conference, the live luncheon.
Right.
And like he kept talking about picks.
He sure did.
And I'm like, all this picks. There might be quite a few people going, not just Lamar.
I was taking notes when as the press conference was going on, even though I left him at work like a dummy. And I wrote on one of the notes, he had mentioned getting more picks like 3 times before I stopped.
Yeah.
So
it's
we'll
only
see.
a couple of ways you can get picks. That's let go of players, or if they don't trade, if Lamar not traded, they moving back. They're not staying at 22.
Right.
So we might not have no pick in the first round.
Right. But if we can get 2 in the second, I might take that. Depending on who's at the board, because it depends on who's on the board.
Yeah, depending on who's at the board. And I believe that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take 2 seconds. We're gonna jump back and take 2 seconds. Who you think will be that, old coach?
One of those second-tier receivers, which, again, I think kind of puts us in the same boat that we've been in, and a second-tier corner. Because they mentioned Porter by name a lot, but Porter ain't going to be there in the second round. Addison, I mean, Mingo may be that second round. Mingo's my personal favorite, but I don't know how they feel about him.
Favorite?
That's my personal favorite. He to me, he's
Yeah.
an AJ Brown clone.
Yeah, he is. I was, I was watching his show when you was talking about him. He looks good. Like, I haven't really studied too much up on all the wide receivers as of yet, so I really can't say yet. I know I do that about a week or so before the draft.
To have it fresh on your mind.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because I forget.
Gotcha.
But me, I see the Ravens, either they jumping back or I believe they're going to go corner. I don't think they're even going to go wide receiver, because every time it's a player there, that wide receiver that we really want, they never go after him.
Right.
They
Don't
always
remind
pivot.
me. It's too soon. George Pickens.
Yeah. I'm just going off history, and every time he's sitting right there, get him, just like last year. It was Pickens.
Yep.
He was sitting there for the taking. I didn't think he was going to make it there, and look who we took. And I believe we're going to probably take the corner from there, too. Don't
We'll
be
see.
shocked.
We'll see in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll see in 3 weeks. I appreciate you. I got a guy behind you. I want to close it out with
No
you, but I
problem.
appreciate you for calling. First time caller. Don't let it be your last.
I won't appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah.
Let's see. We got 2 left.
The conference has been locked.
Let's go to P real quick. P, I got you. You hot, baby. What's good? P, you up? Yeah. What's good, baby?
What's going on, man? What's going on with you, Coach?
I'm chilling.
Thanks for taking the call, man.
No problem.
Driving home from work.
Yep. That's why my time slot was here. That's why I picked this time slot to catch people on they drive home from work before they got to get home and deal with them kids and deal with cooking and all that stuff.
I got twins at home. They 1 year old, so
Ooh.
you already know.
Ooh. We gonna pray for you.
Man, yes, sir. Please do. But Coach, with the first topic of the day, man, just looking at the Ravens in the last couple of years, Queen already gone. They probably talked to him, his agent. Hey, look, y'all know we brought in Roquan. We got the boy Ross. We got Malik. We can go get somebody off the street, put next to him. At that point, we just need somebody that can maybe a headhunter.
Right.
And let Roquan do all the smart stuff. You know what I'm saying? Put the headhunter next to Roquan. Let Roquan do all the other smart stuff, the coverage, the blah, 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 blah.
That sound like Malik.
Whatever. So he already probably know he gone, right? That's where EDC probably going to get some more picks from. And then, Coach, I'm going to keep saying it. I put it in one of the super chats maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago on the Ravens Roundup. I really think they already know they're going to trade Lamar, and they really just trying to find a shooter that he's comfortable with.
Trying to facilitate him.
And to take him, right. Because you got to sign the tag, right? In order for them to trade him. You got to sign the tag.
So if they trade him, does he play for the new team on that tag price? Is that how it works?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt it. For Lamar to say, okay, y'all going to trade me, that's cool. He's going to talk to whatever team they want to trade. Hey, look, I need a contract. I need a contract. I think that's the only way he signed a tender. Him sitting out, I don't see it happening. Anyhow it goes, I just don't see him sitting out a season.
Yeah.
But you never know.
I don't want him to sit out. Whether he play for us or not, I don't want him to sit out.
For a couple of reasons, because even if he sit out, next year he's going to be right back in the same boat. Because the league going to look at it like, okay, you took the year off, we're going to hit you with a bunch of fines, and you're right back to the same thing. You're still on the franchise tag. And so the Ravens still own your rights, so it don't make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just go ahead and try to get it over with this year. Either way it's going to go, Lamar. Just go ahead and get it over. You're going to leave. As much as I hate to say it, go ahead and leave, bruh. I'm just going to have to root two teams from day on out. You know what I mean? Like, hope that he don't never end up playing the Ravens or whatever at some point. But you know, I think they already know they want to trade him. If not for sure before that they wanted to trade him, after he did that thing with the tweet, where they kind of caught them off guard. And I don't think it's EDC. I don't think it's Harbaugh.
Me neither.
I think it's Bashadi and Ozzie. Like, because, I mean, let's really think about it. Eric DeCosta, these are your first couple years as the Ravens GM. You've been bred and groomed for this role, right? And in your first couple years, you've had some of the superstars that you bring in say they want to be traded.
Right.
Do you really want to go down known as that? I think behind that is Bashadi and Ozzie. Like, oh, they want to go? Let them go.
Yep.
You don't want to play. You don't want to play for the Ravens. Let them go. EDC probably looking like, really? We gonna just? I think he's getting pushed to make those trades happen. Not to say that it's not already ingrained in him, but Ozzie, you ain't never really do that. Everybody keeps saying he did it with Ray when they let him touch the market that one year. But I mean, you talking about Ray when he was on the back, kind of on the back end of his career. You talking about guys that's still on their rookie deals that you let walk out the door.
Right.
That's a little crazy, you know. But
because how much would Hollywood have helped us this year? Because who do we pick up when we got Hollywood? Was it Linderbaum or was it Hamilton? It was Hamilton, right?
It was Hamilton, I think. With that pick.
So without say we don't have Hamilton, who really didn't come on till the end of the year, and we got Hollywood. Them early games we lost, I don't think we lose them, and we're in a different situation on the back end of the year.
That Miami game, probably would have won that, right? Some of those other games, even when Lamar went out, I think we would have won those because it would have gave Snoop another, you know what I'm saying, another target outside of, you know, Duvernay and when Bateman went down, of course, but it would have gave him somebody besides Duvernay, Prochet, Andrews, and Likely, right? It would have gave him a true deep threat because people, you know, I know we all, you know, talk about Snoop, but Snoop do have a pretty good deep ball.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
I think he does.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
I think he may. If you got somebody that's going out on just a go route, like, I think he'd probably get it to him. Maybe. Not consistently, but maybe. But I think it would have definitely gave us a better offense than what we ended up with. Even with Lamar, when Lamar was there, and definitely when he went out. You know what I mean? That definitely would have. You know, and I get what the caller said about the whole Detroit and everything. That it do make sense. It do make sense with this kind of system that the new coordinator can run. It makes sense. Do I want to see it?
Nope.
Not really.
but it makes sense.
But it makes sense. You know, it makes sense. And I really think that, you know, they just waiting. I think everything will come to fruition the first night of the draft. Because you're not going to let, I know everybody talk about PQ, but the way he played last season next to Roquan, you're not going to let him go for no 4th, 5th round pick. It's going to be second.
Oh, yeah, his comp pick going to be high.
Right. You're going to have to let him go for like a 2nd, a 3rd, and something else. Or maybe, you know what I mean? You're not just letting them go for a simple 2nd round pick. No.
Gotcha.
You're going to get at least 2 picks for him, a 2nd and a 3rd or whatever, right? If I'm EDC, what I'm going to tell Lamar, look, sign the offer that we gave you. We still going to trade you to the team of your choice or whichever team they come up with, right? That way, instead of just taking them 2 first-round picks, now I can say, look, I need 2 firsts
and something else.
Maybe like 2 thirds, or I need 2 firsts, a second, and a third.
Gotcha.
It may be a linebacker that you don't want.
Mm-hmm. That does give more leverage, and you get more back in return than just the 2 first-round picks. So that makes sense too.
Right. And then maybe you can either use those picks or you can package those picks and move up back into the first round and maybe grab somebody late in the first round that you may like.
Gotcha. Yep. Appreciate it.
Where if they go to Detroit, do you know where Detroit pick at?
I do not.
I know it's in the top.
I do not, because they almost made the playoffs. They almost made the playoffs, so I think it's that middle of the pack. They almost made the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
They went on that run toward the end and almost made it.
That might not be a good suitor then.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're gonna trade Lamar, you can't take nothing lower than
10.
1 to 10.
Yep.
That's it. 1 to 10. That's it. If you don't have a 1 to 10 pick, we not talking.
Yep. I agree.
Because you if you're gonna trade them, you gotta try to get what is it, AR-15. I know the other 2 dudes gonna be gone way before that. At least we think they're gonna be gone way before that. But you gotta try to at least get, like you said, AR-15, who everybody keeps saying they done brought in for multiple visits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because everybody think that I can't remember the other 2 guys. What is it, Stroud and
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Stroud and Bryce Young.
You know they probably.
They going 1-2.
They're going to be the first 2.
All right.
Exactly.
They going 1-2.
What order we don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be 1-2. Then you might get a run on some top tier defensive guys. Jalen, Will. I think it's an offensive lineman or something up there that's supposed to be like in the top 10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you get a run on them. And then somebody may go back to look for another quarterback. But if they can stay in the top 10, they might have a chance to get AR-15.
Maybe.
And maybe they already know that, and that's why you keep bringing somebody in when you pick a 20, like the last caller said. You pick at 22. You really think that dude's going to be there at 22?
Right. P.
And you done brought him in for how many?
P, I got somebody behind you.
All right, bro.
I was trying to let you get your point out. I appreciate it. Hey. Make sure you call back. We good. I ain't want the one behind you to hang up and whatnot, thinking that I was ignoring him or whatnot. That's all.
No problem, Coach. I'm gonna hang up and then I'll keep listening to the show, Coach.
Okay, I appreciate it. Take care of them babies too.
I definitely will.
All right. And our last caller for today. Appreciate you for holding. I had to let P cook though, because he was cooking. You know, we was cracking jokes in the comments about him, but he was definitely cooking, so I had to let him cook. I didn't want to turn his greens off, and they wasn't done. All right, caller, you on now. What's your name and where you from?
My name is Brandon, and I am from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Please, yes, sir. Excuse me. I am a truck driver, so if there's sometimes you don't hear me, that's why. Because I'm actually driving the truck right now, listening to your show.
I appreciate you holding for me. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem at all. I have a couple of things that I want to express.
Okay.
Like I said before, I am a truck driver, so if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
Originally, Mississippi.
Mississippi, okay. So do you remember a couple years back when LeBron was trying to make a decision between going to Miami, going back and staying in Cleveland, or Chris Bosh or Dwayne Wade, and they all said they wanted to go to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, then they I trust and believe I got something to go on along with this when I say this. Then in Cleveland, didn't they post something about LeBron on there trying to lead him, bring him into Cleveland, to stay in Cleveland, like trying to persuade him to make his decision as staying in Cleveland?
I think the owner did.
Or something like that?
I think the owner did.
The owner did? Okay. Now, did he get in trouble for that?
No. What he called heat because of what he said after LeBron made his decision, but he didn't catch heat for for trying to actually keep him there.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking this is because the reason why I'm saying this is because when I drive to New York every week,
mm-hmm.
and I've been a Baltimore Raven fan ever since they first came over to Baltimore,
mm-hmm.
and I would think that if the Raven fans will want Lamar, they will try to show more love of showing posters or signs or something around Baltimore of, hey, Lamar, we want to keep you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's going on here, or whatever. I don't see any of that.
Right.
So that tells me, I mean, it don't tell me, but it's like it shows me like kind of like nobody's like really trying to worry about what the situation is with Lamar.
So for clarity, you saying like as you go through Baltimore on your trips or whatever, you don't see any billboards or anything that's saying, hey, you know, like showcasing Lamar.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Like it's just empty, and I'm like, okay. I mean, now when you pass Baltimore, that you see the Ravens Stadium and the Ravens show their lights or whatever, but there's no billboards about Lamar Jackson or nothing like that. You see billboards about the Ravens, but you don't see no billboards about Lamar Jackson or whatever, which that a little bit concerns me.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, yes, I'm a Lamar Jackson fan.
Team before individual is their stance.
Exactly. Like everybody else, I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I actually went to go see Lamar play when he played at Louisville and North Carolina against Wake Forest. And I was like, man, that's that dude. That's that dude. That's what Baltimore needs. That's what Baltimore needs. Guess what? Baltimore ended up getting him.
Yep.
For me, saying this is hard, but I understand it. I do believe that we need to move on away from Lamar. If we do move on, I was listening to one of the callers a couple calls back. He said trade Jared Goff. I agree with that, but only one thing I disagree with it.
What's that?
It need to be Jared Goff and a receiver. Because if we gonna trade Lamar Jackson, not only will we be trading Lamar Jackson for multiple picks, but we also need to get some kind of compensation along with it, knowing that they have a young receiving core. So if we can try to take one of their young receivers along with Jared Goff, maybe St. Brown or somebody like that, I don't know, then, I feel like it will even it out to where then we can deviate the picks somewhere else, along with the first picks. Another thing that I thought about was if we end up trading Lamar, I'm with you. I don't think we need to trade past PQ. And the reason why I say that is Deshaun Watson, off of his trade alone, I think Houston got like 4 or 5 picks off of him alone.
They did.
If we gonna trade Lamar Jackson, we automatically not only gonna get 2 picks, we gonna get like almost like 4 or 5 picks.
Yep.
Just for the next couple of years. So I don't feel like we need to trade PQ because, yes, PQ, you broke it down completely to the T. And I love PQ. I liked him when he was at LSU, and I like him now. But, yes, it's going to be hard to pay him. But we can pick up that fifth-year option if we trade Lamar.
Yeah. And
maybe we can keep him for another 2 or 3 years and still have that studied defense that everybody wants. And I know everybody saying defense. Okay. There is one thing I will mention that I tell everybody around me, and they looked at me like I'm crazy. If you go back and you look at the stats, yes, we were bottom in passing defense and everything else. But if everybody pay attention to one thing, and the ones that I look at is like this, then let us know the defense is doing phenomenal. Joe Burrow, 2 years ago, threw over 1,000 yards in 2 games. 2 games against our defense. Last year, he didn't even scratch the surface of 700 yards in 3 games.
Right.
Which lets me know the defense is doing something right. McDonald was doing something right. So I feel like when it comes down to that situation, defense will be fine. We have to constantly work on the offense. And that's always what everybody wants to see is the offense and not so much of, we so heavily have to work on the defense. So with me saying this, yes, I believe we need to trade Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it. I really don't want him to go, but I get it. You want to get paid, but I also looked at other aspect of things. Lamar, do you want to take 3 steps back to where you go get traded to a team to where you're not going to win a title until later on? Or do you want to take that 1 step forward knowing the fact that there's a possibility that the Ravens can bring in a big-time receiver that you always wanted? You play with that receiver along with the receiving core and the running backs that we have and the studded defense, and we can sit here and you can make history next year and shut all the critics up and say, hey, I won a Super Bowl.
Right.
I got my team to a Super Bowl. And a lot of things that I realize is I think the reason why majority of these owners are not tending to Lamar or don't want to really talk about Lamar is this. After this, I'll have one more thing to say, and then I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I feel like if you go back through his playoff history, and I broke this down to my son. My son's 14, and he's taller than me, and he's talking about being a tight end. His first playoff game was against the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Played bad.
When he played bad, and we lost. Okay? The second playoff game, the next year, the second playoff game, you won MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You threw the ball out your mind, but we still got walloped. Let me phrase this. We played against Phillip Rivers the first year. The second year, we played against Tannehill. And you let Tannehill outshine you at home in the first round, in the divisional round of playoffs, and we get eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
We were 13-3.
Keep in mind. We'll say this in his defense. Them guys didn't play for almost a month because I went to the last game that year. They didn't play, and then we had to bye. Then the game came up, so they almost didn't play for a month. But go ahead.
Okay, you're right. Then the next following year, we missed playoffs. You missed the last 3 or 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Then this year. First thing first, we were first in the division. The last 2 years, we were first in the division before you got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up not closing out the division. Now, I'm not blaming that on Lamar. Not no means. I blame some of that on coaching.
A lot of it.
A lot of that on coaching. A lot of it on coaching. Then we made playoffs this year, and then you're not there. Arthur Blank comes to you last week and says, I'm worried about your durability and stuff. And now I kind of see why he says that, because you can play a regular season. You can play your regular season and play your tail off. I mean, everybody shows it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to the nail-biting games, the games that the owners want you to make the most money on, you're not showing up. So I feel like that's where the owners are looking at him like, hold on, you 26 years old. And the reason why I bring this up is because we lost to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's about to get an extension with Cincinnati.
A big one at that.
We didn't make playoffs. A big one at that. Tannehill actually got an extension as soon as they beat Baltimore that following season. He ended up getting an extension. And you know what? I did miss a year. We made the playoffs the following year after we beat Tennessee. After we lost to Tennessee, beat Tennessee, and then we made the Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And lost to Buffalo because of a pick six.
Pick six, yep. Going
the other way. All right, I'm sorry. Josh Allen got paid. Sure Tannehill got paid. At that quarterback, Phil Rivers got paid, but they led their team to wins, like going to an AFC Championship game or a little bit further. Not saying Lamar can't do it, and by all means, Lamar ain't had all the weapons, but maybe people are looking at this situation to where, do we really need to pay you because we're going to pay you to where you're not going to show up in playoffs? We're trying to win championships here. Can you give us that run? And maybe and through everything that's going on with Lamar with the tweets and everything, I think it looks bad on him.
Okay.
I understand that he need to do what he need to do, but I feel like it's bad. It looks bad on him because it's like if we go into a job interview and jobs nowadays, they're like, okay, do you be on Facebook? Oh, let me see. If you have anything on Facebook. Oh, you got this on Facebook. Oh, and if it's not two they like you, they hold that against you.
Yeah.
That's just like as us people out here in the real world, if we got a record, a police record on us, guess what? That people hold that against us.
Sure does.
So I feel like the owners are holding this against Lamar about the way how things are going. And I have one more thing, and then I promise you, I know I probably took too much time. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. As they say in the Whatcom, go ahead and land your plane.
Yeah. Thank you. I got one more thing, and I'm not kidding when I say this, but this is a question I want to say to you. I want to ask you. Due to the fact that T. Martin now is the quarterback coach, now I get the relationship between Monken and Bennett. Maybe we need to look at this in another situation. Let's say if we do trade for Jared Goff, or whoever quarterback is. Let's say Anthony Richardson or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With T. Martin being a quarterback and he used to coach at Tennessee,
I know where you're going.
Could you see him making a little bit of play towards Hendon Hooker? Only reason why I'm saying this is because that's a Tennessee versus Tennessee type of deal, along with trying to later on grab the receiver that Hendon Hooker had a real relationship with before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand he did get hurt, but but people are still projecting this man to be round 1, round 2.
Mm-hmm.
And by all means, I know I'm talking high about him. Yeah, because he is my cousin. I'm not lying about that. But, yeah, people are still saying he's round 1, round 2, but he's a field general. He don't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
If Anthony Richardson gets gone, I can't see Baltimore going either after Bennett or Hendon Hooker. And I'm just trying to see how do you feel about that?
As far as Hendon Hooker, he would be an option if it depends on what they do with Lamar. Everything depends on what they do with Lamar. He'd be an option down the line because I don't think we'll be in contention to get Young, Stroud, or Anthony Richardson. I don't really like Levis. I would then in the later rounds try to target Hooker, Cunningham, or DTR. But that's me personally. I would, if we don't get anybody early, I'd target Hooker, DTR, or I forgot who I just said, Malik Cunningham. Now I will say this: I'm not opposed to Stetson Bennett coming in later round. Stetson Bennett he's heady, but the thing about Hendon Hooker and Stetson Bennett, they almost the same age as Lamar right now, both of them.
Exactly.
Joe Burrow Joe Burrow might be older than Lamar. So, but them two guys that I really like as far as the heady guys, they're at an age now where they just basically the same age as Lamar and not the same player. So that would be my only throwback on those two guys. But if Lamar doesn't sign, their rebuild is coming. I don't care how good our defense is. Unless we bring in a veteran like Goff or somebody like that. But if we go with a young quarterback, rebuild is happening while you paying the defense out of their mind. And by the time you finish paying the defense, our window may be gone. So
that is true.
But I appreciate it.
So really this falls back on either what Lamar does and the GM.
I'm gonna say not the GM. I don't want because I got at some point I'm gonna take up for EDC a little bit. Lamar and the owner, because the EDC can't spend Bashade's money. So if I'm an agent for say you the owner and I'm an agent for you, I still got to bring every offer to you for you to approve it. no matter how good I think the deal is. And if you be like, nah, that's too much money, I got to go figure something out. So, I mean, I got to go in turn, go tell the client, who in this case is Lamar, we can't really make it. He gonna say we can't make it work when actually the owner said no. So I think in this whole situation, and I don't care what nobody say, this is just my opinion, and EDC ain't been perfect, but in this whole situation, he's in a lose-lose situation. Because if Lamar leaves, he gonna be blamed. If they get Lamar what he want, he gonna be blamed. So he's in a screwed up situation, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. And we'll see.
And I hate to say it, but you're right, because if he don't keep Lamar, and he makes a bad decision on after Lamar, he could end up losing his job.
It's true. Hendo say that all the time. No, not Hendo or Jose say it all the time. That, like, if they was him, they quit. One of them said, I can't remember which one said it, but they said that if they was EDC and this stuff went south, they quit because they didn't want to be the guy that's labeled as fumbling the bag with Lamar.
Oh wow,
that's where we at with it though.
But, hey, I appreciate everything that you do, man. And this is only like my second time really listening in to you and stuff like that. But I'm gonna start listening a lot more. And you keep me occupied while I'm on these roads dealing with these non-dropping people.
Appreciate it. But that's what we here for, man. I appreciate you, Brandon, for calling in. And we gonna, like you said, I appreciate you for landing your plane, because I'm gonna land the plane on this show. I'm gonna show them my little surprise we got, and then we gonna be out for the week. So we'll be back Monday.
Yep.
Make sure you see what's going on your weekend, and you be safe on that road, man. I appreciate what you guys do.
And I will. And you have a good weekend.
All right, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Let's see. Let me close this real quick. Man, y'all wow, chill. But it was funny though. But it was a good call. We had a bunch of good calls today, and let's get to the surprise. So, take you back to a conversation that was had with me and Jose and Brodney and Hendo and Mike and Chris. So if you don't know, they have fantasy football in their Patreon in their Patreon, but you have to be a Patreon to be a part of it. And I was like, well, I didn't want to do fantasy football because of, you guys doing it. But the thing is, everybody loves fantasy football. So I was like, screw it. Let's do it. And so if you've been lurking on the Patreon page, you'll see that that's been one of the perks that's been added. Nobody said nothing, so that means you ain't been lurking. So that means I'm going to need you to go over there and do so. So just as a introduction, I'm starting a fantasy football league. You have to be a Patreon to be a member. So you have to go to patreon.com/sipthetally. It's scrolling across the top right now. But I put it up there a week or so ago, but I got my prize in today. Hendo has the belt and the ring. Jose and them, they had the plaque that Hendo won. And it looked like Hendo got all the merchandise right now. He got all the merch. He got the ring. He got the belt that Jose says is his belt. And then he got the plaque from Jose for winning their league. But I just want to do an unboxing of the trophy for the Sip the Tally fantasy football. Let me get this up here. See if y'all can see this. Where's the top? There we go. Yeah, Jose say Hendo be cheating. Let's see. Oh, that's a little fancy. Boom. See, there we go. Let me take it out the box. See if y'all can see that. Cuban-like link. It's a Cuban-like link. That's Jose like to say chain. Spin around. There we go. So now, the inaugural Sip the Tally champion will be able to pick this up at the end of the fantasy football season. But for right now, I'm just going to wear it. If I can get over my headphones. Now, in order to win this, you got to be a Patreon. So if you want to be a part of the Sip the Tally Fantasy Football League, go to patreon.com. Join up. We got a couple different levels, but you only need to be on the lower level to be a part of the fantasy football. So If you want this chain, you think you can take it off my neck. You think you can beat me in fantasy football. And I'm a vet now. I'm a vet. I've been playing for a long time. So all you newbies, this thing's staying home. Hendo is staying home. But if you want a chance to get this, make sure you go over to patreon.com/SipTheTelly. Sign up to become one of the Patreons. Even if you just do the lower tier, which I appreciate, you still get a chance to be the fantasy football. Now, if you want the mug, gotta be a gunslinger. Gotta be a gunslinger. Gotta be a gunslinger to do so. But again, this is the surprise today. This came in today. This Cuban-like link, as Jose say, with his Egyptian-like cotton. If you want it, come get it. Come get it. But you're all going to take L's. Because I know what I'm doing. I'm a fantasy football vet. We don't take L's in this household. I appreciate you guys for coming through, man. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have not hit the like button, please do so. And we got some hater. Every time I look at my stats, we got 2 thumbs down. Same 2. I bet it's the same person every time. Get that person out of here. If you don't like what you're seeing, get up out of here. But thank you guys, man. This is week 2. This is week 2. We made through 2 weeks. I'm pleased with what's going on. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Man, thank you guys. So you guys coming through and subscribing and super chatting and doing different things is allowing us to do more for you. And that's what this is. That's what the cup is. That's what merch is. So I appreciate you guys, man. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do for the channel. And I appreciate you guys keep supporting me and the rest of the crew. And again, Hendo got a tweet out there about us potentially meeting up. We need to get some responses to that tweet to see if we want to do that. But we're potentially maybe having a meet and greet somewhere in the Baltimore area. But go find Hendo's page, Roll Podcast, and respond to that tweet, and so we can kind of get an idea of what's the interest on this. So again,
respect thing.
Somebody just dropped something. Let me see. Baltimore Get Up just super chatted $2. Appreciate it. Can you look at Grant DeBose and Bryce Ford Wheaton? We'll do. I look into it this weekend and let you know what's good. Again, last show for the week 2 down. Peace, y'all. Appreciate you, Steven, and everybody else that called in. It was a great show. Everybody in the chat box, y'all funny. I was trying to keep a straight face. But y'all silly. In a good way. Peace, y'all. Enjoy your week, the rest of your week and your weekend. Good Friday, Easter, and see y'all.